What was expected to be a smooth and symbolic passing of the torch turned into a shockwave that rippled through the entire golfing world. For months, Tiger Woods was seen as the inevitable Ryder Cup captain, the obvious choice to lead Team USA into Bethpage Black with the same relentless drive that defined his career. But in a move completely uncharacteristic of the man who dominated headlines for decades, it all ended with a whisper. No press conference, no public statement, a sterile third-person memo that read, "Tiger Woods will not accept the role of Ryder Cup captain." That single sentence landed with more force than one of his iconic drives. It wasn't just the decision that stunned fans and analysts, it was the delivery. Woods, famous for his presence and fire, chose a cold, distant method, almost as if removing himself from the narrative entirely. The silence was deafening. For someone whose voice has long influenced the direction of the sport, the clinical tone felt surreal. The world expected a roar. Instead, they got a murmur, and with it, leadership didn't just step aside, it vanished. Social media erupted. Analysts were left speechless. The most anticipated captaincy in modern Ryder Cup history dissolved without warning or explanation. It wasn't just a missed appointment. It was the collapse of a storyline. Whispers of concern replaced excitement. Was Tiger's health faltering? Was he stepping back to clear the path for younger voices? Or, as some speculated, was this a strategic retreat from the PGA's current political storm? The questions mounted, but answers never came. Just a week earlier, the golf world called his appointment inevitable and legacy-defining, and then nothing. The king stepped away before ever claiming his crown. With Tiger Woods officially out, the leadership void was instant and impossible to ignore. What followed wasn't just unexpected, it shook the foundation of golf's future. It all began with that one unthinkable sentence. A legacy put on pause, a future clouded in uncertainty. In the world of sports, few individuals carry the weight of inevitability. Tiger Woods is one of them. After Team USA's collapse under pressure at the 2023 Ryder Cup in Rome, the only real question was when, not if, Tiger would take the reins. The assumption was nearly unanimous. Bethpage Black would be his canvas for redemption. His Ryder Cup history is complicated, but unmistakable, full of emotional highs and painful lows. More than just a player, Tiger had become the quiet force behind Team USA's identity. His leadership at the 2019 President's Cup and his behind-the-scenes impact in 2022 proved that even without a club in his hand, he could command an entire room. Following Zach Johnson's faltering 2023 captaincy marred by strategic missteps and a fractured team dynamic, Tiger seemed like the only logical successor. Media outlets from Golf Digest to Golf Channel, and even rivals like Rory McIlroy assumed it was a done deal. Rory even said, "If Tiger wants it, it's his." That kind of cross-continental respect speaks volumes. European insiders were already preparing for a Woods-led squad in 2025. Bethpage Black, loud, rowdy, unapologetically American, seemed like the perfect backdrop for his leadership debut. But then, cracks in the script appeared. While Tiger showed up for high-profile TGL events, he was noticeably absent from Ryder Cup prep. Rumors swirled, meetings were tracked, schedules scrutinized, yet Tiger said nothing. That silence became its own message, and beneath the heavy weight of assumptions, a quieter reality was emerging. This wasn't a power move, it was a passing of the torch. While everyone anticipated the legend's return, no one saw the quiet retreat coming. Tiger Woods wasn't stepping in, he was stepping away. And golf, for once, had no answer to fill the space he left behind. Tiger Woods' absence left a giant question mark, and Keegan Bradley's appointment slammed down an exclamation point. Just not the one anyone expected. At 38, still competing on tour, chasing unfinished business in majors, and with zero captaincy experience, Bradley was the curveball no one saw coming. Yet there he was, the newly named 2025 Ryder Cup captain for Team USA. It wasn't just a pivot, it was a full spin. The reaction was immediate and deeply split. Traditionalists did double takes. Fans refreshed their feeds to make sure it wasn't satire. Keegan Bradley, known more for emotional post-round interviews and streaky putting than tactical brilliance, now at the helm. The shock wasn't just in who it was, but what it meant. There was suddenly real talk of Bradley possibly serving as both captain and competitor, a concept not seen since Arnold Palmer's dual role in 1963. That kind of historical echo doesn't come lightly. Even Bradley admitted he was blindsided by the offer, approached only days before the announcement. He hadn't even realized he was being considered. Reports suggested Tiger Woods was the long-standing frontrunner, and only when he officially declined did the USGA pivot to Bradley, a plan B turned plan A in real time. What Bradley lacks in credentials, some say he makes up for with energy and proximity. He knows the locker room, has real relationships with the current roster, and who speaks their language, but that familiarity cuts both ways. Can you lead men you're still trying to beat? Trust and tension often share the same space. Quiet skepticism followed behind the scenes. Was this a short-term fix, a placeholder until 2027? Or was this a gamble on a rising locker room voice? Bradley didn't shy away. Facing the media, he leaned into the doubt, stating, "I know what people are thinking, and I'm ready to prove them wrong." Whether that's courage or defiance remains to be seen. America got a captain, but only time will tell if it got a true leader. And as the dust settled, all eyes once again turned to Tiger Woods, not as a player, but as the kingmaker whose silence still loomed larger than any announcement. Tiger Woods has quietly evolved into something more strategic than emotional, and when the moment to speak finally came, he wasn't angry, he wasn't bitter, but he also wasn't returning. What he said was measured, what it meant was massive. In a brief statement through official PGA channels, Woods finally offered his endorsement. "Keegan is more than capable. He has my full support." The message was clean, cautious, and unmistakably intentional. This wasn't a heartfelt handoff, it was calculated confirmation of his distance. Support was extended, but leadership was withheld. From afar, it sounded like a mentor passing the torch. But insiders heard something deeper. Tiger was stepping back, not out of protest or politics, but from sheer overload. As reported by Golf Digest in today's golfer, his TGL commitments, policy board duties, and long-term vision for the 2027 Ryder Cup left little room for 2025. He wasn't abandoning the mission, he was choosing the marathon over the sprint. CBS Sports revealed that Keegan Bradley personally invited Tiger to take a more active role, not just in spirit but in operations. Woods respectfully declined, leaving the door open for informal involvement. Bradley called it an open invitation. Tiger didn't slam the door, he just didn't step through it. The offer was sincere, the response sobering. His words weren't cold, but they were composed, and that's what left fans stunned. No fiery speech, no emotional rallying cry, just a quiet nod and a graceful exit. Approval without engagement. In doing so, Tiger sidestepped the media chaos that would have engulfed a full captaincy and kept his attention on rebuilding the fractured PGA landscape. He chose structure over spectacle, and maybe that was the point. This wasn't about avoiding the spotlight, it was about relinquishing control. The greatest golfer of his generation opted out not just of a role, but of the power that came with it. Which raises a deeper question. If Tiger's no longer steering Team USA, who is? On paper, it was a clean handoff. Tiger steps aside, Keegan steps up, and the Ryder Cup machine rolls on. But behind the tightly managed optics, a different feeling lingers. Not scandal, not drama, just quiet unease. This wasn't a coronation, it felt like an exit plan. The moment Tiger Woods declined the Ryder Cup captaincy, the script cracked in behind closed doors. The language shifted. Inside Team USA circles, words like command and structure gave way to fluid, non-traditional, and collaborative. Leadership, once a fixed point, became a moving target. There was no longer a clear chain of command, only optics. Clarity left the room. Ambiguity took the mic, across media desks and locker rooms alike. The same question echoed, did Tiger wait too long to say no? By the time Keegan Bradley was appointed, many players had already assumed Woods was in. If there was a plan B, it hadn't been rehearsed. If there was a contingency, it lived behind glass. Delay bred uncertainty. Uncertainty became doubt. Tiger's exit wasn't a denial of responsibility, it was a redirection of it. His reasons were valid: TGL obligations, policy board commitments, but also long known. The timing felt less like coincidence and more like controlled deflection. Meanwhile, Keegan walked into a role still clouded in question marks. He's an active competitor, a locker room peer, not just one of the guys, but still one of the guys. That complicates authority. Can you lead teammates you're still trying to beat? Can you manage egos while still managing your own swing? The captain's chair is no longer neutral when the captain is still in the chase. Bradley's early media appearances were polished but cautious, his tone passionate yet defensive. This wasn't an empowered transition, it felt like damage control. Beneath it all, the central issue lingered: who's really in charge? Tiger may advise, Keegan may lead, but without a singular unifying voice, even the most talented team can drift. As the dust settles, the Ryder Cup clock ticks louder, and Team USA finds itself at more than just a tactical crossroads. It's facing an identity crisis. Bradley brings fire, no question, but passion alone doesn't build a cohesive culture. Can a man still chasing majors manage pressure, egos, and expectations from the captain's seat? Can personal ambition coexist with collective leadership? The risk isn't Bradley's ability, it's the structure around him. There's no modern blueprint for a playing captain. The game is no longer simple. Tradition won't win this. And then there's Tiger, still watching, still influential, but now from the shadows. His voice may echo, but without presence, how loud will it ring? The heart of this moment isn't about just one Ryder Cup, it's about American golf moving from myth to momentum. The old guard shaped the past, now the future is up for grabs. And as a new generation steps into the